السلام عليكم. بداية شكرا لوحدة التعليم المستمر على تنظيم هذه الندوة اللي إن شاء الله تستفادون من عندها. Now we'll be talking about publishing your research and responses to reviewers. How many of you have heard the phrase publish or perish? So publish or perish is like a slogan, مثل شعار في الجامعات. It means if you're working in academia, you either publish or you have no future. And it only emphasizes the stress that people who work in academia are feeling and experiencing because they have to publish. Okay? And now we all see it. قانون الترقيات الجديد يطلب من عندك نشر، يطلب من عندك بحوث. مو صحيح؟ ما تنشر ما عندك مستقبل، تبقى بمكانك، ما تترقى. So it's publish or perish. That's why we need to focus on publication and how to get our publications. In the next 15 minutes or so, we'll be talking about choosing the right journal for your research, preparing your manuscript, submitting your manuscript, and then responding to reviewers once you get them back. Starting with choosing the right journal for your research. How do you choose the right journal? First, it has to be a good journal, right? إن شاء الله بكرة أكو محاضرة أعتقد الدكتورة نوال راح تنطي عن الجورنالز اللي موجودة بسكوبس وثومسون رويترز، فما راح نتطرق لهذا الموضوع اليوم. You also want to look at the impact factor of the journal. What is the impact factor? It basically gives you an idea of how often papers published in this journal are cited. Why you want your paper to be cited. You've made a project, you've made a research, then you published it. You want it to be seen and cited. This is important and contributes toward your H index, right? حسب قانون الترقيات الجديد من ضمن الجدول حساب ال H index. It's not only important that you publish, your publication needs to be cited, should be seen, okay? Just a note, we think that all good journals need payment for publication. That's totally wrong. A lot of the high-rank good journals, they're free. They don't require any processing fees. They don't require any publication fees. They only want ask for publication fees if you want your paper to be open access. But if you publish regularly where people need to pay or they had to be part of a university or institution to get your paper, you don't need to pay anything for your publication. They are totally free. The most important thing is you want to send your paper to a relevant journal, a journal that will be interested in your research, and the audience, the readers of this journal are also interested in this research, right? How do I select this journal? How do I know what journals I have to send my papers to? We all ask, right? We all ask our colleagues, where did you send your paper? And we usually ask the question, how much did you pay? How long it took for it to be published, right? These are not enough. This is not the only way you find a paper for your research. During the process of doing your research, you will be reading papers, right? That is how you work. You will be looking at papers. Look at the journals where these papers are published. Check these journals. Go to their website. When you go to the website, the thing you will see, there is a tab called the scope of the journal. Okay? Open this tab. This is an example. This is the Journal of Controlled Release. It is a free journal. Impact factor 7.7. It's Elsevier. So you know it's a very good journal for you if you can get to it. If you clicked on scope of the journal for this specific one, you will see the description of what this journal is interested in. So for this specific journal, they're telling you they are interested in drug delivery systems in all aspects of formulation. So this is probably a very relevant journal for pharmaceutics, right? If you go down a little bit, you will see that they tell you, if you have no concept or you have no mechanistic insights in your research, we are not interested. So you know if it's a quick paper that you are submitting, this is probably not the journal you want to send it to because you will be wasting your time. You can, but you will be wasting your time because it has to go to the editor and will take time till the editor get back to you, and then he tells you no, and then you go to another journal, right? So look at the scope of the journal. See what this journal is interested in. What does it want? هسه كليتنا طلاب صف خامس مشاريع التخرج، الاساتذه قسم منهم يشغلوهم عملي فورميليشن او فت سمبل ستدي، وممكن ننشرها. مثل هيك جورنال ما راح تكون الجورنال المناسبه لنشر هيك بحث، لانه بحث سريع بسيط، صح لو لا؟ بينما مشاريع الدكتوراه، مشاريع الماجستير، ممكن اذا الطالب اشتغل كلش هوايه ممكن نرسلها لهيك جورنال. Okay? Now the other thing you want to look at when you open a website of the journal is the type of article these journals publish. This is another example, Journal of Pharmaceutical Research, impact factor 2.7, and it's also free. It's also published by Elsevier. Okay? Why you want to look at types of articles? We think it's only a research article. Actually, it's not. Journals publish a lot of different type of articles. For this one, I picked only 2 of them because these are relevant to this session. We have rapid communication and research article. If you look at rapid communication, what is it? It's a preliminary study, okay? You've discovered something. You've noticed a very novel and new idea, but you don't have enough data for a big paper. Yet, you want to document this. You want to make sure you take the credit for it, because really the world is in a race. Everyone make a research, they publish fast, right? Maybe you don't have enough resources in your institution to get your research done fast, while someone else at another institution will be able to do it as 2 or 3 times as fast as you can, right? So maybe you want to send such novel idea to link it to your name as a rapid communication. This will be a short paper, 2,000 words only. It only needs 4 figures, or actually it doesn't allow you more than 4 figures. Now, if you have a full research, then you will be submitting it as a research article. Okay, that's like the PhD research, master thesis research. These are comprehensive. For example, if I made a formulation, I will be making the formulation, I'll be characterizing it, I'll be maybe proving it actually works in vivo. This is a full comprehensive study. Okay, you see, it allows you for a lot more words and double the figures. Now you selected your journal, you're now preparing your manuscript and writing it. The first thing you want to make sure you have no grammatical errors or typos. How many of you have done review for scientific journals? منو اشتغل مقيم علمي? Do you get paid?
Free.
No, it's a free, right? Reviewer work is a free. So you really want to please the reviewer. If they start reading a lot of grammatical errors, a lot of typos, they will get frustrated and lose interest in it. And then the ideas will be disconnected. Okay, so make sure your paper are written properly. You can ask for help. And a lot of journals like Elsevier has on their website language correction or language help. You can submit your paper and they will correct it for you, but it is not free. That service is not free, but it's available. This only emphasizes that they are receiving a lot of paper that are poorly written, and they don't want that. You also want to use proper academic language, so avoid using words that are used in common dialogue. You want to avoid jargons and technical terms that only people very, very specialized will understand. You can use them, define them. If you have to use them, but try to avoid them. It is not about showcasing that you know this term and just keep using it. Remember, reviewers might not be in the very, very specific field and research interest that you are working in. So you want to make it easy to understand to people in the field in general. Use clear, direct sentences. If you want to say, I use this instrument, say it simple like that. You don't need to flip the sentence and write a 2-line sentence just to say one simple information. Okay? Avoid running sentences. Avoid disconnected and fragmented paragraphs. What I see a lot is we have nice sentence, a very informative sentence, and then next come another informative sentence, but I don't see the connections. I don't see how the thoughts are being processed, how the ideas being moved, how the logic is being driven in this paper. right? So I'll be losing my interest in reading and reviewing this paper. Make sure your figures are well labeled and where produced. A lot of journals now don't like graphs made in in Excel. So they recommend using other softwares, and they give you some suggestions. Some of them are not free, some of them are free. And even if you use Excel, say for example, my research include 3 formulations. In figure 1, where I'm measuring the particle size, formulation A is red, formulation B is blue, formulation 3 is green. Now I go to figure 2, when I'm looking at the stability, I choose the colors different. And the mark is different. Now this is a star, triangle, square. Be consistent, because people usually are visually oriented. A lot of people are visually oriented. I know in this, the red square now has big particle size. Then I go to the other figure, I see, oh, now the red square is not formulation 1, it's formulation 3 now. Makes me just kind of reorganize and reset my mind every time I look at a new figure. So be consistent, okay? You selected your journal, right? Do your homework and go to the tab called Article Structure. Every journal has this tab under this name, or maybe a little different. We all know articles will have abstract, intro, method, result, discussion, conclusion. Some journals require it to be said differently. Some wants the result and conclusion to be together. Some wants the method at the very end. They don't want it in the beginning. Some wants abstract and significance, not just abstract. Or some wants a box where you say highlights, 3 or 4 bullet points. So when the editor, the first person who receives your paper, see that you formatted your paper in the correct format the journal is asking for, they know you've done your homework, okay? You've respected what they want. So they will do the work of reading your paper and going through it. A lot of journals don't reject the paper because it's not correctly formatted, but they will email you back, say, format it please according to our format, and they give you a link. They won't read it till you format it according to their format. Okay, so do your homework. It doesn't take a lot of time to go to this tab and open it and see how you should format your paper. Another thing that a lot of us might forget to do is checking the referencing style needed for this journal. Now we've talked about the referencing style. دكتور انتظار حكت على referencing styles اللي في جامعة بغداد عندما تكتب أطروحة. But when you're publishing, you have to commit to the referencing style the journal is asking for. You have no way of saying, from the University of Baghdad, this is what we use. They will reject it. They won't like it. They will tell you, go redo your references according to our style. This is an example from the Journal of Nature Biotechnology. This is another publishing group, Nature Publishing Group. This has an impact factor of 41. It's free, but it's very hard to get into it, this journal really. Nature has its own referencing style, and if you are using a referencing software, you will see that there is a Nature referencing style. Okay, a lot of journals are now have their required referencing style embedded within a lot of the available referencing software. So do your homework and go format it this way. Your paper is ready. Now we want to submit, right? We know what journal, we've written it, formatted correctly. Now we want to submit. Some journals ask for what's called referee or reviewers. So they will tell you, suggest some reviewers for us. Now you don't know a lot of people. They usually give you sites and lists of suggested reviewers. Go through this list. Don't pick up names randomly. Usually everyone listed here will have their website or have a link where you can find any information about them. Look for them in PubMed, look for them in Google Scholar. See, are they really working in the same field you are working in? We all work in pharmaceutics, right? But someone works in biotechnology, someone works in oral delivery, someone works in transdermal delivery, right? I'm working with the transdermal delivery. Why would I suggest a reviewer that only works on oral delivery? He will ask me questions and suggest things that are not related. It will not help me. And he might not appreciate my work, right? The only thing you want to avoid is suggesting a reviewer whose work is very, very close to your work, because they will reject the paper. They will cite their own work and say, this is very close to it, there is no novelty in this. Now there might be a difference because you should have done your homework before you started your research, right? You should know that you're doing something totally new. But if it's pretty close, some might reject it, say it's pretty close to our work. It's not valid. When you suggest reviewers, this is what you need to, like the information you need to supply, their name, where do they work, their email, contact information, phone, because a name are not enough. They need to know how should they contact them. Cover letter. Cover letter is the first thing the editor will see and read when receiving your manuscript. It's like, it is the cover, okay? If they liked it, they will read through your abstract, they will read through your paper. If they don't like it, they will reject your paper, okay? So what do I need my cover letter to be? I need it to be strong, concise, free from grammatical error, and most importantly, tell me what's in you have done in this research, okay? Why should I care about this paper? Why should I publish your paper in this journal? What's gonna add to me, right? Be concise. It should be very few lines, one page only. This is a general template for a cover letter. You want to start by, we are submitting this article, you put your manuscript title, the name of the journal, and then most importantly, saying what did you do? What is the significance? What is the main finding of your research? What are you reporting in this paper? Major highlights or major things you have done in this paper, very briefly. You can list them as bullet points, you can list them as lines, but very briefly. This is not where you want to expand. Remember, it's one page only. You want to close up by restating how important your research is and retelling the editor, you really want to be interested in my paper and you want to publish it because it reports for the first time or it opens the way toward a new areas. This is an example of a cover letter. So this is the name of the journal, and then this is the novelty. This is the new thing they've done here. This is why the editor should be interested, because we investigated for the first time antibiotic consumption source and cost in the entire province and Iraq, okay? Going to some few highlights of what new things they have done in this paper, closing up again by why this paper is unique, why it's important, what does it add to the scientific community, what gap it fills, to provide a basis for future research on antibiotic, right? Now the editor liked your cover letter. Now they flip to the abstract. This sentence, you will see it written in many journals different ways. For this journal, they tell you titles and abstract in particular should be written in a language that will be readily intelligible and to any scientist. Means simple, clear, direct. Abstract is not where you want to show your English proficiency and use words that have not been seen since 20 or 30 years or maybe more. This is an example of an abstract. This was a paper that I published in the Journal of Control and Release. This abstract is only 130 words. The whole abstract is 130 words, pretty short. Now what do I want to say in the abstract? First, what gap in knowledge I'm filling in this research. For this specific example, engineering cell surface with particles is an area that's not studied. So I'm telling people have not done a lot of work in cell surface engineering, and we are doing it now, so it's novel. Brief description of what we did. That's what you see highlighted in yellow. We engineered the cell surface with particles, we generated a construct that we aim for it to be cancer vaccine, and we tested it in vivo. We close up by the main finding to reiterate that our research is important and it's reporting a new novel finding. For this specific example, we say that our prepared formulation or prepared vaccine actually achieved therapeutic effect in prostate cancer. Now, the editor liked your paper, he sent it to reviewers. You might be waiting a few months before your paper gets back, okay? Typically, they tell you 2 to 6 months. Sometimes they tell you it's a year. Okay, it takes time. So be patient. Few months are okay. Usually more than 6 months, you want to email them back saying, where's my paper? Did you send it to reviewers? Remember, reviewers' work is free, so they do it on their own time. You got the responses back. You want to respond to them. Some general rules. By the way, reviewers' comments could be just correcting grammatical errors, could be just telling you, asking you questions you want to answer. It does not always mean you have to do a lot of work. Or they might be asking you for a whole new experiment you need to do. Okay? In all cases, always acknowledge the reviewer's point of view. Never say, this is wrong. You like it or not? It's true, correct, wrong, you don't really agree with it, start by acknowledging it. Say, while we respect the reviewer's thought on blah, 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 if it's correct, then you do it. If you don't agree, then you want to support your response with references. It is not enough that you say, this instrument is the proper instrument for measuring this parameter. You want to support your response with reference. How do you choose these references? Choose papers that are cited. Don't get a paper that published 10 years ago, no one cited it. That means it's really invalid. Okay? So choose papers that are cited, papers that are well seen and really high quality papers from high quality journals. This is how you support. For example, they will tell you your sample number is pretty low for this type of study. Then you can go, well, other researchers, and you reference a few papers, have used similar sample number, and it was something that they can work with, and with the limitation of what we have. It's okay to say that you have limitation. It's okay to say that in our institution we don't have access to this instrument, so this is the only replacement. It's still valid, and you can see people have used it and published well-established results with it. Okay? Or suggestions related to formatting, typos, grammar corrections. These you have to do them. There's no way out of them. It's always better if you highlighted your responses to the reviewer, okay, so that it's easy to see. If you have one full page and they tell you, please expand on this, or please provide more explanation on this finding. When you insert this, highlight it. It's easier for them to see it, so they don't have to go through it and look again. And then they get back to you much faster, okay? And then all you have to do is just wait. And remember, it's a matter of time. If you want good paper, you have to really wait for it. And hopefully after that, you get your paper accepted and move to the next publication. Thank you.